21st century on this energy. And let me just, and I'll tell you exactly how. When Al Gore and I helped to write the Kyoto Climate Change Treaty, 170 nations signed it. 44 rather wealthy nations signed it, and those 44 were bound to make specific reductions in their greenhouse gases by 2012. At the time, we had a Congress, rather like the Congress unfortunately we have now, who either didn't believe climate change was a problem or thought we could not change the way we produce and consume energy without disastrous consequences to the American economy. So, as soon as I signed off on the treaty, they voted against it 95-0 before I even sent it to them. It was the only bill I ever lost in Congress before I sent it to them. Now, we've come a long way since then. There aren't nearly as many people who deny the reality of climate change or the need to do something about it, but we did not get an agreement in in Copenhagen, for one simple reason. Almost everybody believes it's a problem now. Almost everybody believes we have to do something about it. But a critical mass of people still don't believe you can reduce your greenhouse gas emissions and continue to grow your economy. The evidence suggests otherwise. Of the 44 countries that had to promise to make specific reductions by 2012, here at the beginning of 2011, we can say for sure that only 4 will make it. The 4 we know will make it because they have already achieved it are Germany, the United Kingdom, Sweden, and Brazil. All with radically different political and social systems. All since 1998 have been governed by parties of the center right and parties of the center left. All took different paths to do it. Sweden, for example, in 1991, already a highly efficient country, so efficient that their quota allowed them to increase their emissions by 4%, increase their economy by 50%, and reduce their emissions by 7%, and did it 100% through energy efficiency. That requires discipline and attention to detail and reimagining how you finance these things. Because the average person would rather build a big nuclear power plant or a big hydroelectric dam because you got one contractor, one thing to do, one utility to deal with, send the bills out, go on and think about something else. Building through efficiency requires normally a different way of imagining a financing system, but it gives you a lot more jobs. Anyway, that's what Sweden did. Denmark generates 25% of its electricity from wind. Even though it's a relatively cold country, a substantial amount from the sun, and they have a vigorous conservation program. I have a friend who just bought a company in China and moved it to the United States, producing small all-electric vehicles, mini cars. And there's an island in Denmark that's already carbon positive for electricity that wants to be completely carbon positive. So they bought 1,000 cars from it. They've already ordered them, and they're going to take all their other cars out of commission except when they have to take long trips. And this creates a lot of jobs. But Denmark has done very well, and most of the time they were under conservative government. The UK did it mostly with natural gas and some of their North Sea oil, but a lot of it they sold. But they took their coal out of commission and made a serious effort at conservation. Germany, where the sun shines on average as much as it does in London, England per year, surpassed the US and Japan to become the #1 producer of solar energy and the #1 user of photovoltaic solar cells in the world. Now, why am I telling you all this? Because before the economic crisis, all 4 of those countries, all very well developed, had a lower unemployment rate, a higher new business formation rate, a higher growth rate, and less income inequality in the last decade than the United States of America, and more social mobility because they changed the way they produce and consume energy. And if you look at what it's doing to Brazil, if you just look at what you've gotten out of biofuels, the level of national security you've gotten, the level of national independence, the freedom you will have to decide how to export the oil you're going to develop off your coast. All of these things are profoundly important, and they also are part of sustainability as well as helping you fight climate change. So this idea the world has that, oh, I'm sorry, Brazil, I can't grow cane. I'm sorry, I don't have a rainforest I can keep up. I can't possibly plant 1 billion trees. Actually, a lot of people could and don't know it. And it'd be good economics too. But I'm saying this so every one of you will understand, if you can blaze a path, if you can build on the successes you've had, if you can resolve some of the difficult problems in a way that the people of Brazil feel good about, even if they don't agree